here, Jaybird, here's the simple truth. You can't soar like an eagle if you're hanging around turkeys. So, what does that even mean? What does that mean? You say all these things. Basically, I found with my experiences so far that I get the best results when I'm hanging around people that are doing what I feel is right in my heart. So I used to go to parties. 4 years in college, I've been to maybe a handful of parties. But when I did go, I went because that's what you did and that's what everyone was doing. So I thought that's what you had to do. That's what you had to do to be cool, to be social. I thought I was being antisocial doing what I was doing. But then you go, or I went, and it was just so low quality. Lame conversations, superficial conversations with no meaning. And, people that were doing the same and hanging around with other people and not realizing their own potential. Getting drunk and smoking weed and all this shit. Getting these late nights for no really beneficial reason. So I said, okay, well, I don't really want to do that. So then I started doing what I'm doing. What I'm doing now is, seeking relationships that are really fulfilling and having meaningful relationships and conversations with people. Older, younger, doesn't matter. Traveling a lot. Putting my money where I want it to go instead of just being like, oh, well, I'll buy this and maybe that'll make me happy. Everything is just so meaningful. Every decision that I make. So anyway, back to hanging out with different kinds of people. So again, just if you're hanging around with turkeys, if you're a turkey yourself, it doesn't make you a bad person or a bad turkey. It just means that you're not an eagle. And if you want to be like a turkey, then go with the turkeys. If you want to soar like an eagle, fucking fly with the eagles. So an example is when I was in music school, I was in a choir, a men's ensemble choir that was so phenomenal. I mean, the amount of technique that each of these people had was incredible. And the first note on the first day of classes blew me away. And then we were just warming up. And I realized quickly that everyone in that choir was better than me, was a better singer than I was, had better technique, knew more about music theory and all these different things. And I was really intimidated. I was like, I'm not good enough to be here, blah, blah, blah. But that quickly went away because I said, I'm going to get so much better. Because I realized that I could keep up with these guys. Now, I wasn't that good of a sight reader. And I wasn't that good of, didn't have that good of a technique as them. But I could pick up the subtleties of a group. Like, I can blend really well, and I could do these things. So I focused on my strengths, and I went in for the kill, and I just put my whole heart into it. And I said, I'm scared as shit, but I'm going to do it. And I did it, and it was amazing. I had the best time of my life, and that's the only thing I miss about that music school is that choir, because it was that intense, and I learned so much. I not only learned so much vocally and, about choirs and things, I learned a lot about myself and what works for me. And what works for me is doing things that I want to do. It's not just doing things because it's dogmatically right and just believing in something because other people do it. It's doing something that I really feel in my heart is right. So I felt in my heart, oh yeah, I'm scared, but I know I really want to do this, and they're really good, so maybe I could be as good as them. And I took the fear and I turned it into courage, because courage is just fear flipped on its head. You still have the fear, but courage is rising to the top. You know what I'm saying? So this is an example. I'm in this other thing right now, and it's not as high quality as I'd want. And the people in it, and the people are sort of not flaky, but not, to this caliber and as serious as I am. Want to have fun, but still want to make a good product, creative product. And it's like, should we be doing this? Should we be, if we're not all going to commit to it, then what's the point? If we're not all having fun, what's the point? So that's all I got to say. I hope that makes sense, the music analogy. If that makes sense, put in the comments, whatever. Just let me know in the comments. And like this video if you like it. I'm so sick of people making the excuse like, it's just what you do in college. It's not just what you fucking do. If you're in college right now, take the advice that took me a while to learn, and just do what you want to do. If you don't want to go to parties, fine, don't go to parties. Do what you want to do. If you want to go to parties but you don't want to drink, do that. There's so many ways to do this. To have a good life, I mean. You don't need to follow other people's footsteps. Because if you do that, you'll never be 100%. And you'll always be striving for 100%. If you make your own footsteps, you don't even have to think about it. You just walk. You just do it. Be yourself. So I hope that makes sense. It makes sense to me. And I've learned so much from that mentality. So if you want to fly like an eagle, be with the eagles. Drop the turkeys out of your life. If your family is dragging you down, fuck it. Move on. If you're living with people that are dragging you down, move on. Oh, but I love them, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. If they're not supporting you and having a loving relationship goes both ways. If the other person's not giving and just taking, that deteriorates the relationship. That's not a relationship. It's a parasitical relationship. So, hope that makes sense. Passionate about this because I see so many people, I see so many of my friends get dragged down in, this sort of, I just want to fit in, blah, blah, blah. You'll fucking fit in. I don't fit in with some people, but I fit in with the vegan, fitness, health-minded, kick-ass, inspirational, inspired, powerful people. And that's the crowd I want to fit in with. I don't care that if I'm talking to people who had a bunch of drinks, who had a bunch of whatever, and I don't fit in. Because I don't fit in. Because I don't have that sort of lifestyle. Doesn't mean, they're bad people or I'm a bad person or whatever. Just means that we're on different paths. So it's okay to be on a different path. If your spouse is on a different path than you, let it go. Don't try and force anything. If your girlfriend's on a different path, or you could sense they're on a different path, just let it happen. Let things happen, because things happen for a reason. You can only do it, you can only be yourself. So I don't want this video to go on for too long. You can tell I'm passionate about this. So again, like this video if this makes sense to you, if this jives with your sort of mentality. So, Rememebr, always be right. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Peace.